Welcome back to Euro Football Daily and to Scout Report, where this week we have 5 players who are better than you think. 5. Paulinho. We have to come clean. We were not in favour of Paulinho's move to Barcelona when the Brazilian made the €40 million switch from Ganjao Evergrande last summer. At 29, he was not likely to get much better, and his previous form, especially in London with Tottenham, was hardly up to Messi and Suarez's standard. But 6 months on, and only Messi and ter Stegen have made more appearances in the league for the Catalans than Paulinho's 23, and the veteran has picked up a massive 8 goals and 2 assists in just 1,200 minutes. Remarkably, in the absence of Ousmane Dembele, Paulinho has often been the third attacker, making runs to make space for Barca's superstars. With 2.4 shots per game, he makes the third most attempts on goal at the club, and of those shots, 85% have come from inside the box, showing a maturity and understanding of his role which has won Valverde's trust. Paulinho does, however, have next to no creative output, with just 1 chance made every 2 matches, but clearly that's not his role at the Camp Nou. Instead, he bursts into the box in attack and drops back to help Busquets in defence, making 2.3 tackles and interceptions per 90. And Valverde has changed Barca's style to suit him, dialing down the press and coaching the side to defend deep. The club have averaged just 61% possession this season, their lowest since records began 8 years ago, but they are better at restricting good chances, allowing just 3.2 shots on target a game compared to 4.2 in the 16-17 campaign. That has seen them remain the only unbeaten side in Europe's top 5 leagues, and despite losing Neymar, they have scored only 3 goals fewer than they had at this point in the 16-17 season. Sorry Paulinho, we were wrong. 4. Alex Iwobi. The only thing Arsenal fans hate more than Chelsea, Man United and Tottenham is one of their own players, who has failed to develop the way they expected. Alex Iwobi joined the club at 8 years old and has been a regular for the past 3 seasons, but the Nigerian is already past the honeymoon period and into full scapegoat territory. However, at only 21, Iwobi has plenty of time to realise his potential, and he's already a useful squad player for a top 6 side, despite often being stationed on the right wing where he can't cut inside and participate in combination play. This term he has created around 2 chances a game, a record only bettered by Ozil and Sanchez in the Arsenal squad, and he's heavily involved in play. With 57 passes completed per match, Iwobi gets on the ball more than Alexis or his replacement Henrik Mkhitaryan, both around the 50 mark. And even in congested areas, he takes care of the ball well, with an 86% pass accuracy and just 4 losses of possession per game, compared to the Chilean's 7. Iwobi has also shown himself to be a decent dribbler. He completes 2 take-ons per 90, and his surprising turn of pace and nearly 6-foot frame means that when he tries to beat his man, he succeeds 74% of the time, about 10% higher than Man City's exceptional Leroy Sané. Winning the ball back once per 90 minutes is not exactly the defensive work rate of dreams, but that's nothing a bit more experience can't solve. With less time on the right and a better manager, there's no reason Iwobi can't mature into an excellent creative threat. 3. Paul Pogba. Yes, your dad thinks he's but the public perception of Paul Pogba and what he actually does on the pitch have never been further apart. The Frenchman has featured in a midfield 2 and 3 this year, has suffered injuries and served suspensions, but has still produced 3 goals and 9 assists in the Premier League. Only Leroy Sané and Kevin De Bruyne have laid on more goals for their teammates, and Pogba's key role in his team's attack has seen him involved in a goal every 115 minutes, which is better than Eden Hazard on 124. But that doesn't fit the narrative, and the Chelsea man remains revered, while Pogba is apparently the source of United's variable form. Where the 24-year-old may deserve some criticism is in defence. Recent losses against Tottenham and Newcastle expose his sometimes sloppy positioning, and he wins the ball back only twice a game, down from 3 times in his final season at Juve. However, everything else has improved, with his chances created climbing from 1.6 to 2, successful passes going from 51 to 70, and shots from 2.3 to 3. Pogba still shoots way too much from distance, with 41% of his attempts since arriving in Manchester coming from outside the box, despite the fact that 62% of his goals over the last 4 seasons have come from inside the area. His dribbling though is truly spectacular, beating 3 opponents per 90 with a 77% success rate, the best he's managed since turning 20. His reputation may have taken a hit, but Pogba is still the same player he was in Italy, and with stats like these, any manager would be lucky to have him. It's down to Mourinho to build a team which allows him to flourish. 2. Miralem Pjanic. Highly rated as an advanced midfielder at Roma, Miralem Pjanic has not received the same attention since his switch to Juventus. Now mostly fielded in a deep, almost Pirlo-esque role, the Bosnian has matured into an outstanding game controller, while retaining the end product of a world-class number 10. That end product is 4 goals and 7 assists so far this campaign, which works out to scoring or assisting every 151 minutes, which is better than former teammate Edin Dzeko. 2.5 key passes per match puts him on par with Tottenham's Christian Eriksen, and Pjanic isn't afraid to take on a long pass either, with the 9th most long passes completed among outfield players in Serie A. However, his adventurous passing doesn't come at the expense of accuracy, with an 89% completion rate, and he can also keep the Bianconeri ticking in the centre of the park. His 76 passes per 90 is the highest number in Italy outside of Napoli, and since leaving the capital for Turin, he has learned to couple silky playmaking with a new defensive edge, making 2.8 tackles and interceptions every single match. Pjanic's transformation from trequartista to regista mimics that of Pirlo nearly 2 decades ago, but unlike the Italian, the former Lyon man is yet to receive the plaudits he deserves, a travesty for the most important cog in Allegri's Scudetto-winning machine. 1. Alvaro Morata. Taking over from Diego Costa, who delivered 2 titles to Stamford Bridge, was always going to be a tough ask for Alvaro Morata, and the Spaniard has endured a difficult campaign, spending much of the year sidelined with injury and with the team failing to reach the gear which saw them win 30 games out of 38 last season. However, some bad misses have seen the narrative turned against Morata, despite his healthy return of 10 goals in 1,500 minutes. That actually means the striker has scored around 0.6 goals a game, an identical rate to Diego Costa last season, and pretty promising given that Morata is 4 years his countryman's junior and still adapting. That hit rate is the product of elite shot numbers. Morata takes more shots than Costa did in London, with 3.5 a match to 3.2, and from inside the box as well, with 2.9 to 2.7. 55% of his shots land on target, and despite playing under 2/3 of the available minutes, he leads Europe in headed goals, with 6 in the Premier League alone. As for the idea that Morata bottles good opportunities, the stats don't agree at all. According to the Premier League's own data, the 25-year-old has missed 14 big chances in the league this season, and admittedly, that does sound bad. However, Harry Kane has missed the same number, while Mo Salah has wasted 18, suggesting that being an elite striker is about getting opportunities consistently, and even the best players can't score them all. And if you add Morata's 5 league assists, the best tally at Chelsea after Willian and Azpilicueta, you have a top quality forward succeeding in a dysfunctional attack, with the Blues having netted 49 in the Prem, fewer than all the other top 6 sides. So that was our scout report on 5 players who are better than you think. But what do you guys reckon? What does your dad reckon? Let me know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this, why not check out Stat Wars with me and Michael? And as always, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.